Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Late last week, Vanguard got a pretty large weapon tuning update that was partially catching up on old weapon changes, but also adding in some new ones. We saw things like the Cooper adjusted, the Whitley adjusted. There was a bunch of tuning in this update, so I figured no better time to jump in and break down the top weapons to be using in Vanguard multiplayer right now. As we go through them all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, Vanguard, Warzone, everything in between. You'll find it right here. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. So first things first, before we break down all the main primaries that I think are at the top of the game right now, I do want to quickly go over my secondary perks and equipment, because this is going to be the same on all the classes with all the primaries that you guys see here today. As far as the secondary goes, I'm not a big secondary guy in multiplayer in general. Like, I'll use it if I absolutely run out of ammo, but most times I'd rather just pick up a weapon off the ground, right? But in the case of me having to use a secondary, I do run the machine pistol. In this case, on it, I'm running the stabilizer, the short barrel, the slate reflector, the steady trigger for some better control, the Granco 40 just to spray and pray. Frangible, honestly, none of the ammo types are really great for a pistol for multiplayer, but I guess that doesn't have any cons and it can help out here and there. Polymer for better control, same deal with tight grip. Then fully loaded to max out the SMG ammo in case I am running an SMG primary, like in the case of the whale gun here. Fortified, forward intel, lightweight, always my go-to perks alongside the Semtex. Then either the stun, because it's got 69 in the name, or sometimes the stim. I like to get that extra health back, but the TTK is just so fast that a lot of the times you don't even get to pop it before you end up getting taken out. So a bit unfortunate there, but yeah, that's the same on all the setups. Let's go ahead. First up here, let's get into the whale gun. Pretty straightforward setup here for multiplayer. We're going for a nice balance of control, damage, and mobility. Especially with a fast TTK, you want to be able to be agile, get up in the enemy's faces, be able to take out players, move on to the next one, and not have to worry about it. I love the whale gun in multiplayer. This thing is so consistent. First up, I am going for the recoil booster, get that fire rate and that TTK up a little bit. Shrouded barrel makes this very competitive for some medium range fights as well. Obviously, you get plenty of those in multiplayer as opposed to long range, which are a little bit less likely. Short and medium range are very likely with just how Vanguard plays, especially on some of the smaller maps. So this brings some nice versatility to the setup. For the optic, I like the GW03 irons. You could put on a slate, you could put on the GW02, whatever you're the most comfortable with. Remove stock, obviously, for better mobility. Hand stop for better control. 45, 48 round mags just for the better damage, the better TTK in general. Length in to help out some with those medium range fights and keep that velocity pretty good. Polymer for better control. Frenzy to act as like that regen, that quick fix-esque like attachment here, which is honestly pretty beneficial in multiplayer. Then lastly, quick for that better mobility. Next up, we got the Cooper. I love this thing. It's been a really good weapon in multiplayer ever since it was first added in. It got some changes, like I said in the last update. Still one of my favorite guns to use. It's just so consistent. And even for a rifle, it's really good for being aggressive and, you know, playing up close. Here, first up, I go for the stabilizer. You could try maybe like the recoil booster if you wanted to, but I feel like stabilizer makes it the most versatile gun in the game, honestly. Close range, medium range, long range, doesn't matter. This thing will hold it down just fine. Also running the Cooper custom barrel, not only are you getting better control out of this, but also better fire rate as well, which is ideal for some of those close range fights. Slate reflector here, basic red dot. Skeletal stock to add some mobility and some aggression to this with that better sprint to fire and better movement. Hand stop for better control. The 45 round mags on the 30 carbine ammo here just for that better damage, velocity, range, making it a bit more versatile as well. Length in for those medium long range fights for the best velocity. Polymer for control, same deal, tight grip yet again. Then also fully loaded here. Honestly, all the AR perks kind of suck. This is the lesser of all evils. Weapon number 3, or class number 3, no surprise here, the STG. This has been a top gun since Vanguard dropped. It really hasn't, you know, become any less effective at any point in time in the game. The pros are still liking this, and also the automaton as well. Spoiler alert for a bit later on into the video. I mean, the STG, it does no wrong. Perfect for an aggressive rifle, perfect for a long range rifle. One of the most, you know, consistent guns we've got. Going for the stabilizer yet again, the 760 millimeter barrel for the better range, control, and accuracy. So that's going to help out perfect for those medium and long range fights. 2.5 times optic, doesn't have too much zoom to make it unusable up close. Like, I would still run this setup on shipment, honestly. It just works like that. You could use a red dot though if you wanted to. Any other optic you're comfortable with. Folding stock, same deal as on the Cooper, just to make it a little bit more aggressive. Hand stop for control. Just the basic extended mag here, the Kerr's 45 round drums. I'm not really a big fan of the Russian short. Also, I like to run Vital on there too, so I feel like with the base ammo, it just works really well. Lengthened polymer as always, obviously Vital as I said, and fully loaded once more. Another no-brainer choice, the MP40, also a top gun in the game, one that the pros absolutely love. and it's been a beast since day one. Obviously an argument for it being one of the best subs in the game. First up, recoil booster here, better fire rate, same deal as before. I'm still running the 317mm barrel with multiplayer, and with this being a primary, you're going to get into some medium range fights, and with this on there, that really does help out. I like the ISO 1M iron sights, they're nice and clean. Run a red dot if you don't like those though. Folding stock, better sprint to fire, better movement, perfect for a sub. Pistol grip, better sprint to fire as well. Also some better hip fire accuracy, so that's nice and ideal, obviously. I go for the Kurz 32 round mags, better control, better velocity, sort of turns it into that SMG hybrid weapon that you could also use in medium range fights. However, honestly, all of these mags do their job just fine. Like, they're all pretty solid, so you can't really go wrong with any of those. Lengthen for some of those medium range fights. The leather grip for a better ADS. Fabric in this case, just because it does hurt the accuracy a little bit with the bloom, and we already have some attachments that work against that. I'd prefer to keep that stat semi-balanced, so leather to me works just fine. Steady for the reduced movement penalties, making it a bit more aggressive, and then quick for that better mobility once more. And then to close things out for this one, we got the automaton, and I'm sure nobody is surprised by this. Obviously, we had the spoiler alert earlier, but this is also a top pick by the pros as well. This thing is very dominant. Again, perfect for nearly any kind of engagement, close, medium, or long. The high fire rate and low control and decent mobility for a rifle even makes it usable in those close range fights, and it's got no recoil, so medium to long range, it's a beam as well. You can't go wrong with this thing. Again, we're running the stabilizer. I like the Anastasia sniper barrel here. Sure, the 600mm gives a better control, but I feel like it's pretty easy as is. Might as well get some better velocity and range and accuracy out of that. 2.5 times or the red dot or whatever other optic you like to use, by all means, go for it. Padded stock here, better control during sustained fire, so that's pretty ideal. Hand stop for better control once more. I've been messing around with the Klauser 50 round mags for the better damage, for the better velocity and range. Really does make it a beast at long range fights and in those ranged engagements. But honestly, you could use a basic extended mag if you wanted to, and the TTK is still going to be really, really good. So sort of just comes down to preference there. Lengthened in polymer once more, tight grip on here as well, and fully loaded to round things out. Those are 5 weapons that I feel like are super, super dominant. There are still plenty of other guns that are also very good though. I mean, the BAR, still an absolute beast. The NZ41 is very good. The KGM40, not so much, but there's plenty of other rifles that are still very good. Almost all the subs feel really good in this game as well. Like, you can't go wrong with those. For the LMGs, the DP27's feeling good. The Whitley, even after the nerf, is still not the worst thing in the world. You know, marksman rifle, sniper rifles aren't really super meta because they're kind of niche with the skill gap there. But as far as main primaries go, rifles, SMGs, LMGs, there are a lot of very, very good options. With that said, those are my new best weapons after the latest updates in Vanguard. The Whitley definitely saw a fall from grace. It was the #1 go-to. They definitely nerfed that out and balanced it out accordingly. These are my go-tos at the moment. And that said, that'll wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video or if you found it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with everything going on in COD. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.